Well, Brian, we just saw your story on Hacker Middle School Mountain Home and how they just don't have enough funding to pay for that building, which is falling apart. Well, one way to help schools supplement their budgets is with lottery funding, which by law has to go to education and the permanent building fund.
But it's not as much money as you might think. Glenn Beebe tells us why the lottery is no jackpot for funding school infrastructure.
When you look at the breakdown of what each school gets, it would take some 50 years of that funding to get new buildings and major upgrades. But that doesn't mean that the money that they are getting isn't being put to good use. Lawmakers say even though it's a little bit every year, lottery money for education does help.
The budget's going to be $1 billion plus, and it's 19 million in a line item. So there is a place for it.
But even Representative Bell says she doesn't like to rely heavily on it because she knows it can fluctuate year to year. The lottery advertises that it helps fund education and the permanent building fund, which leads some to believe school construction. That's not always the case. During the last fiscal year, $49 million from the lottery went back to the state, but it gets split several ways. Just over $18 million went to the permanent building fund, and a matching amount went to education, which gets split up between all schools based on their attendance. That money is used for building improvements like paint or repairs, but isn't enough for major renovations or new buildings. The remaining $12 million goes to help with school bonds, which districts say is the only real way to get needed improvements and expansions. Those millions from the lottery is a part of the state's nearly $1.4 billion education budget. The West Ada School District, which is the largest in the state, says they usually get around $1.5 million per year. They say that's nowhere near the $96 million needed to solve overcrowding issues. Over the last few years, the lottery has given record amounts to the state, so it is going where they say, but it's usually just not enough for one school to make all the upgrades they need. Back to you.